And the final thing I probably want to ask is, we call them the little Blackbird worms of wisdom, which is whatever you want it to be. A bit of advice, it might be to someone who's in a similar situation, maybe that are in recovery, trying to get clean, anyone maybe in the construction industry, anyone that's just lost their way a little bit, someone who's a father.
Wow.
I want to take you back to 13, 14 years ago.
I'll give a few within the answer. So
I've got two little bits actually. That's all right.
Yeah.
I've spoken a lot today about children. This goes to adults actually, and I'm going to say to adults,
my word of wisdom for people who are in the farming world, who are younger.
A phrase I use a lot is,
I think the thing for me, it sort of resonates a lot, is the last thing I always say to people is, that's my motto, like.
The word brings up a lot.
Yeah. Is that a word of wisdom?
It's a cracker. Hello, I'm Ed and I'd like to welcome you to our podcast series, Tackling It Together, brought to you by Little Blackbird, where we will be having open, honest and important conversations with some inspirational guests.
I've got two little bits actually. That's all right.
Yeah.
First one is, if you're speaking to a mate, ask them whether they're okay. But then ask them again. Ask them how they properly are. Because you message someone and say, oh, how's things? Yeah, all right.
It's easy, isn't it, to answer that?
It's so easy to just say, yeah, it's fine. And second one is, if you're not all right, don't be afraid to say it. It's in nature for people to help each other. People will help. Don't be afraid to ask.
I think the word care springs up a lot, and it's a very broad church, that. But I think if you think about, caring for others, caring about what you do, caring about getting things right, caring about your integrity, I think for me, focusing on words like care, pick out those things that are really important to you. Everyone talks a lot about values, but pick out those things that are really important to you and then base all your decisions on those things. For me, that gives me some kind of framework, some purpose, some direction. And then when I look in the mirror, I can say, look, I at least stuck to those things that are important to me. Even if I've got it wrong, I at least stuck to those things. And then, even if you keep making mistakes, you can always down the line say, well, look, I just did my best. And I was trying to do the right thing.
My word of wisdom for people who are in the farming world, who are younger, never say no to getting off farm. Get off farm and do other stuff. The farm won't go anywhere. It'll still be there, and you can say yes. Say yes. What would I say to my younger self? Which I've probably learned. I'm learning. I'm still not very good at it, but I'm learning is to actually say no to some things, and you don't have to do everything. Learning to say no, I think, is which I'm not very good at, but I am learning, is probably the strongest thing you can do to create more time for yourself and family, in my case. But you've got to learn to say yes to everything first to learn the other way, which is sort of around circles, not saying a lot of advice, but say yes and then learn to say no. Because people will respect you more if you can say no, rather than and do a job properly, or be a good mate, or whatever that is, rather than just saying yes and, as an example, going and having a chat with a mate in a pub, but actually you're the one who's not there. In reality, you're sat at a table having a beer, but you're thinking about other stuff. Sometimes you just got to say, actually, can we do it tomorrow? can we do it another time?
So I've spoken a lot today about children. This goes to adults actually, and I'm going to say to adults, remember a time, you know, especially if you support children, remember a time when you would have been in a dark place yourself, or struggling. Could have been at school, could have been in life. Who was there for you? Because there would have been one person we've all had. What skills did they have? What qualities did they have? How did they make you feel? Now, if you evaluate, are you giving them qualities? Are you making children feel that way now? You know, how are you going to put that into your practice? Because I want children to be surrounded by adults that care for them deeply. And we need to be evaluating, you know, what we look like, how we're kind of engaging, and, you know, how we're making children feel. So that worm of wisdom is to the adults. And if you're a child, believe in yourself, you will get there one day. Day by day, you will get there, trust me.
Having gone to counselling, not just one set of counselling, quite a few, I think I'll give a few within the answer. So journaling, get your thoughts down, get them out on paper. If you can't speak to somebody, get them out. Write a diary, write about how your day's gone, pick the small wins. There's plenty of journals you can pick up, self-love journals in places like The Works. They're all in there, so you can go in there, have a vision board. So although you might have gone through your trauma, have a vision of where you want to go in life and put that somewhere you can see every day. Set yourself targets and aims, because the worst piece of advice and the best piece of advice I got at 16 was, Matt, no one owes you anything in life. Because I was moaning about what I'd been through. I was actually opening up, and it was the wrong response, but it was the right response, because it made me go, you're right. No one's going to come in here and say, yeah, you've been through a lot, kiddo. Here's £1 million. Go and enjoy your life. You got to make things happen. So I've got a quote up in my kitchen. You've got to make things happen. And it comes from the Oasis song, Cigarettes and Alcohol. I've got to get up and I've got to make things happen. Otherwise, nothing will happen. So I will say to young people, use that hurt, use that trauma as fuel. But go if you can, and if you've got services around you that I've got the money, because therapy is expensive, utilise that help. If someone says, I think, you know, have you tried therapy? Don't give up after the first one. Go to more, because there's different types of therapy. Yeah. And even though you meet one counsellor and you think, oh, they were rubbish, they didn't, go and try another one. And if it's paid for by the local authority, you know, and stuff, you're not going to pay for it as an adult. Because sometimes as a man, you feel a bit like resentful. You think like, God, I've just spent X amount of money because of the stuff that happened to me as a child, that I was a bloody child, you know. So acceptance, journaling, therapy, look around you, look at your support network, look at the people that you can trust. Those are the people that you need to start opening up to, not your gang leaders in your local area or whatever who can manipulate you. And recognising what you've been through and joining the dots to your triggers.
Yeah. A phrase I use a lot is, advice is what you seek when you know the answer and you wish you didn't. And I think there's some truth in that. But I think a wizened old broken-nosed fella like me would say to my former 17-year-old, that dangerously aged 17-year-old lad who was getting some things right in life, but most of it was probably going wrong. And I didn't quite know how socially I was fitting in, and everything felt a little awkward. I know now that it will all be okay. It will all be okay.
I think the thing for me, it sort of resonates a lot, is the worst 24 hours in your day is only 24 hours. So every problem you face, you just deal with it in that time, and then you move on. You know, and that was somebody once said that to me, and it just really stuck. You know, is to go with that mindset of do the best version of you in that 24 hours. Some people will like it, other people won't like it, but then it's another day then, and it starts all over again.
Keep going. Never give up, especially if you've got kids, because they're the ones who are counting on you. If your kids can see you and they're asking you to do things, or get them in the right frame of mind as well. Get them moving, get out the house more with them. But I always say, the last thing I always say to people is, keep going, keep your head up. It's a positive saying, isn't it? Keep going, never give up. You can have bad days, you can have bad weeks. Get back on track after you've had them. Everything passes, everything will pass. If you're having a bad day, it'll pass. go to bed earlier, get up earlier, feel. The best thing to do is, I say this to everyone, they say, yeah, you get up at 4, yeah, go to bed earlier to get up earlier. And I feel better for it. You get a lot more done in the morning. You do your exercise in the morning. You can chill at night. You can do more things. Get things done. Simple thing, keep going.
Advice, never quit. That's my motto. Like I say it to kids in here, myself, like I just don't quit. Like I just keep going. Listen, I tried to get clean loads of times, detoxes, got out of prison, and some people try once and didn't do it, and then just give up. Never give up. I just kept going, and look what happened. One day I got it. You know, you only lose when you quit, and I totally believe that. So that's my motto. You know, just don't quit, because there is a life out there, and one day you just might get it. You know, by just having that hope, and then end up with a good life, or whatever your reason is. You just don't quit, and yeah, I really believe in that. Yeah.
Learn to love yourself and give yourself a break. That would be it. You know, the one person that's with you all your life is you. And if you're very harsh on yourself at all points, it's really difficult. And you've just got to sometimes say it's okay to be upset, happy, sad, whichever. But to me, that's it.
Mate, it's been a pleasure. Thanks very much. Thanks for your time.
Thanks
Smashed
a lot.
it.
Cheers.
I hope you enjoyed tackling it together, brought to you by Little Blackbird. If you did, then please hit the subscribe button, give us a follow on our socials, Little Blackbird Limited. Also, please give us a like and comments on any thoughts that you may have. Let's get these important topics out there and encourage some meaningful, authentic conversations. See you next time. Cheers, and remember, keep smiling.